Saturday on My 40, Western Carolina will host Mercer. Kickoff at 3:30 or so. One guy, unfortunately, we won't see is Darius Ramsey, Western's fine senior tailback. He's having to give up football because of concussion-related issues. His teammates have voted him as an honorary captain for the remainder of the 2015 season. Coach Mark Spear said Ramsey will also remain with the team as a student assistant coach.
So basically, I just want to thank y'all for having me here or whatever. I'm very honored. So I'm going to start by I'm just going to get right into it. This is a big thing to me. I didn't really know that much about it. Ron put me on it. He reached out to me and said, look, bro, this is a big deal to us. Basically, you're the only one that I can relate with or that I know that has been through something like this. So I was a football player, man. I grew up playing football. That's all I ever did. That's the only reason I got to college, to be honest with you. I did good in school and everything. I got a scholarship to go. I went to Western Carolina. Full scholarship, went up there and did my thing. 4-year starter off rip. First day ever in college, I started a football game. Obviously, you can look at me. I'm not that big. So when I was playing, I wasn't that big anyway. I mean, I was probably about 10, 15 pounds heavier, but definitely probably out of my league playing at that size. But I was a starter, at least. That means I was good. So I played. I did my thing. I caught one concussion in high school. So I'm just going to start with that one. I started in high school. It was like a spring game. I just fell on. I went up for like a pass or whatever. Landed flat on my back, hit my head on the ground. That was the first one. Now, that was just the first one. And I went to college, did my thing, played all these X amount of years, 4 years. And over those years, I accumulated some concussions throughout. And anybody know anything about that, every one you get, the next one is ×2 or ×3. So every time I got one, it was worse. But me on my own behalf, me not being the man I should have been, honestly I wasn't honest with my trainers or anybody else that was over me during the time, my coaches. So every time I got one my freshman year. It was pretty bad. I broke my nose. That one was pretty bad. I was out of school, missed about 4 games or whatever. Bounced back. I bounced back. But, things went on. I got another one like in the spring. Didn't tell anybody about that one, though, right? Kept it to myself. Started fall, whatever. Played. Caught one at the very end of the season. And at the end of the season, everybody go home. So I didn't tell anybody about that one. So it was like 3 within the total amount that I got that I didn't tell anybody about. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, I ended up with 7 in all. My senior year, we played at Tennessee, and I got my last one. That's when it got bad for me. I got hit early in the game. People that watched the game was like, oh, that might have been a hit, but it wasn't. I mean, that was just a normal hit. Football, you know how that goes. But I got hit late in the game. And I got hit, and when I couldn't see, I was like, I'm tripping. I got hit on their sideline. So I had to walk all the way back over there, and I was like, nah. So I checked out the game on my own. But the hit prior to, the hits in the first quarter, I had taken, ibuprofen, power pill. So it wasn't as severe or whatever. So anyway, the end of the game, whatever, everybody went home, chilling on the bus, went to sleep, couldn't sleep when I got back home. That's one of the side effects. I mean, you think you're sleeping, like you said, but you're really not. So I'm just in this awoke hibernation mode, just laying in the bed, like what's going on. So I knew. I got scared. We didn't have practice on Sunday. Normally we have practice Sunday, and we didn't have it Monday because it was a holiday. So we went back Tuesday. I didn't do nothing but lay around because I knew things weren't right. School was out. Went to practice. School was out on that Tuesday too. Went to practice. Couldn't run. Couldn't keep my balance, couldn't catch a ball. Things I've always did. Things that got me to where I was on that particular day I couldn't do. And I just broke down right there, man. I started crying. I was like, yo, coach, things ain't right, man. I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on. And so I confessed to the ones that I didn't tell them about, plus the ones that I already had on record, because as a collegiate football player, they pull you after 3, 4, third one's not that bad. And me playing football and from where I'm from and everything I did at that point, football just wasn't for me. I mean, I was playing for my city, for my family. You know, I wasn't just doing it for myself. So I wasn't about to let the family down and just stop playing football. But it came to that point where I couldn't do what kept me in school. And I was like, okay. Immediately after that, man, they like took me to all these, like, took me to a hospital. I got all these scans and stuff. They thought I had bleeding on the brain or whatever. And luckily, man, I'm not about to impose anybody's or impose a religion on anybody. But my mom, she's a praying mom. My dad, he's a praying dad, and they prayed for me, man, through all of that. At the time, they had been prayed for me. I didn't tell them. I don't want to stress my family with stuff like that. I didn't want to burden them with that. So, you know, I went to the doctor. I got like 2 or 3 like scans or whatever, man. I'm down there just tripping. They running me through this big machine. I'm like, yo, this can't be how I'm going out bad. Like, I can't go out like this. Anyway, I'm trying to keep hope alive. At the same time, I'm tripping because I can't read what somebody gives me. I'm looking at paper and like, I can't read the words. I can't look at my phone. I can't watch TV. Playing football, they give you a concussion test. Like, right when you come in, it's like a reaction test. You look at the words, try to react to it, click the mouse, whatever. So I did that way back in 2012 when I came in. Baseline. I go do the same test to react to what color is this blue or this red. It takes me over a second to even pick which one is what. I'm like, yo, I'm tripping. And, you know, at the same time, I mean, I'm just getting more down and down about it. So I'm back and forth between the doctors. I'm not trying to let my career go because it's all I got. You know, I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm going to do if I stop playing football. So I got like 3 or 4 specialists. My team doctor told me no. The doctor I went to the hospital was like, nah, you tripping. You dead. Like, you can't play anymore. And then they even went outside to another doctor just to get his opinion. They was like, it ain't looking good. So I go to the doctor, man. I still got to record into the day of how the doctor telling me, like, look, based off your history and everything you've been through, you know, this doesn't look good. You know, I'm going to take your career from you. You know, mind you, I'm a star, basically. You know, I'm my school running back. I'm the man. Everybody know who I am, this, that, and the other. You know, all the fans like, why Ram not playing, X, Y, Z. That's why, you know. So things happen, whatever, man. I basically go, once I found out that it was a reality, man, I go in like this deep depression mode, like down for forever. And I was just down, man. I lived with 2 roommates. They didn't see me for a week. We live in the same house. Like, I basically secluded myself, didn't go to class. I couldn't go to class. I couldn't look at the work, couldn't do the work for like some weeks. And it turned into like a month, almost a month, like 3 weeks. I bounced back or whatever. You know, I hop back out there, but I hop back out there just for a pride thing. You know, just not actually playing, but just coming back around the team. You know, just showing them I'm still a man. It's not gonna defeat me, but I was hiding a lot of things. You know what I mean? I was keeping a lot of things built in that people didn't know about. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. After this depression, or during this depression state, I started just dealing with stuff that started happening to me that I didn't even know was happening. Like, I had a terrible attitude. Like, I developed this attitude that was just I couldn't. Just like how he said about how he was combative. It was the same thing. Like, you couldn't say nothing to me. Like a rage. Period. Like, period. You say it, I'm like, what? Like, it was just totally different person, man. And then, you know, obviously you start trying to figure out ways to cope with things. So you know what that turned into. When I started using, I wasn't doing nothing extra heavy, but, you know, I just started just drinking and tripping, just like totally out of my mind, just not the same person, man. Burning bridges between family and friends, and they just like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on with you, and like, who are you? And I'm just like, it's me. Well, I'm not really saying that, but I'm looking at them with this blank look. People that been knowing me my whole life don't even recognize my eyes when I look at them. They're like, you're not even the same person, you know? I'm like, yo, so whatever. That lasted forever, man. It lasted for so long, man. Like, it got to a point where I eventually started questioning myself. Like, I got to the point where I ended up really questioning myself, like, why things not the same, you know, X, Y, Z. Man, I couldn't remember things. I had, like, these compulsion issues where, you know, like, it's supposed to be a stop. Like, you know it's a red light, but you just still run it anyway. Like, it was just crazy. I had the hardest time doing a lot of different things. And it took me so long. I've been with the counselor, man. I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't deal with the counselor trying to get in my head to tell me how I feel. Because the counselor don't know. The counselor don't know what I'm going through. Don't know how I'm feeling. Don't know how I'm looking at things. Don't know how I feel, and at the same time, I'm feeling like I let everybody down because, I was a football player. That's all I ever was. I was a football player. And I can't be a football player and produce and make people happy. On top of that, on top of the injury, it just compiled. It was just real bad for me. And so I dealt with that for a long time, like all of 26. The injury happened in 15. I graduated, was supposed to graduate. I did graduate. But that whole 2016 year was the worst year of my entire life, man. I dealt with so much. I looked death in the face twice. I saw jail. It was just a lot of things that I dealt with that I just never even thought I could see myself looking at, man. But I found my faith in a place, man. My mom ended up looking at me. Some things happened with that, man. I think what really turned the stage for me was I couldn't stand my mom just looking at me with so much disappointment because I wasn't the son that she raised. And in that time, you don't know what you're doing, man. I'm just a totally different person. But again, I think it was just the faith that somebody put in somebody else over me. And I mean that by my mom. And once my mom got a whiff of kind of what I was doing, I had a girlfriend at the time. She took the toll of it all. Because she was there for me when she was just there. So outside of my friends, she understood how I wasn't the same. She tried to relay the message to my parents, and they didn't want to accept it. You see what I'm saying? But then they eventually started realizing, like, well, maybe we should. Maybe something, maybe not right. Anyway, so basically what I think was the prayer bumped up on my end, man. Other than that, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where I would be at this point. I still have issues. I have headaches that would probably kill a normal person. I still have memory issues. I still have points in my life where I get to this point and I just basically, I try to avoid the doctor because the doctor, I don't know if y'all seen Concussion or whatever, the movie, but that CTE stuff, I sat in the doctor's office and the doctor told me, like, look, you young or whatever, but we don't know much about these brain injuries, but the chance of you getting that type of injury later on in your career or that type of response to your injuries that later in your career is pretty high. I got that on my phone right now as a recording. I'm like, I went and watched the movie Concussion when it came out. I'm in the movie crying like, yo, I can't go out bad like that. Like, I just can't. Right? But I just listened to this man tell me, like, that's probably going to be my reality when I'm 50, 60 years old. Like, so I dealt with that forever, man. That hit me another level. So I avoided, I tried my best. I took the route not to really go to a lot of professionals because you can call it pride or whatever, but I just can't, I'm just not going to accept that on my behalf. It is what it is. I'm not going to be naive to the reality of the situation, but I'm going to continue to put my faith where I need to put it. I'm going to put my faith where I need to put it, and I'm just going to just continue to move forward. And if anybody else, I got friends that's young that has dealt with this stuff, man. I try to tell them boys, like, look, forget all that, forget that. I went through that. Let me be an example for you. It's not about what, that pride in your family down. Your health is way more important than all of that. Like, it's way more important. You need to seek the help and seek the knowledge to get to where we need to get to today, man. You got people like him, people like her, people like his fellow work member or whatever, man. It's people that went through stuff like that that stuff can be totally prevented, or not necessarily prevented, but helped in the situation. You got to humble yourself in situations whenever things can get real bad for you. So, don't mean to take too much of y'all time, man. But my story, it can continue to go on and on and on. But if you know anybody that's been through any of this type of stuff, man, just you can direct them to anybody. This is what this is for. If they want to call me, I can help them out best way I can. I'm gonna give them my own personal advice. Like, look, people ask me all the time, like, So your son, you gonna let your son play football, XYZ. I'm like, I'm not gonna stop nobody from doing anything that they want to do, but at the same time, I'm gonna be smarter. I'm gonna be smarter than what I was at that same age. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna continue to. That's just not the way to be. So that's all I got. I'm not gonna take too much of y'all's time. I appreciate that.